Hello and welcome, everybody. I hope you guys are in the right area. If not, you're going to have a great time regardless. So first off, before we kick it off, who has used AI? I see you, Karen. All right, that's pretty much almost everybody in the room. Nice, okay. Who thinks they're an advanced user of AI? Okay, you guys leave. Get out of here. Fucking out. No, but I'd like your viewpoints as we're going through Q&A if we make it that far, because we got a lot to cover. Okay, who thinks AI is taking over our jobs? The advanced guy does. Anybody else? You do? More of the advanced people. That's interesting. Nobody else? Huh. Very interesting. Who's lost and saw AI and decided to join this class? Love it. Honesty. I appreciate it. You guys are great. All right, well, everybody's welcome. I love insights. As we go through this, raise your hand if you've got insights. I do have a lot of slides, so I'm going to move quickly, and I'm also going to try to have a Q&A at the end, but there is a hands-on, so I'm going to be speeding through a lot to cover. So first off, this is not a technical AI class. If you think that it's a technical class to go through agents and build agents and do all of those things, sorry to disappoint, it is not. The intent of this class is to provide you the basic understanding of AI. What is AI? What is agentic AI? What is multi-agent? And how to leverage it in your daily activities to streamline your life, essentially. So who am I? Simply put, I'm a country girl that has a really cool cat, and I like to climb really tall mountains, and I love tech. I'm also a senior executive in an education tech company. I've been there for about a little over a year and a half now. It seems like a lifetime. And shockingly, I'm still in the military, like 21 years. So I do that on the reserves. I'm in an AI unit as of recently. So we build models for the military to help with the warfighter and get innovation to the front lines, which is kind of a weird thing to do, and it's not effective yet, but we're getting there. All right, so what is agentic AI? But first, what it's not, okay? It's not a one-shot prompt, okay? People get this confused all the time. Asking ChatGPT to write a report for you, that is not an agentic AI. Keep in mind, this is, and I would take a picture of this, write this down, do whatever you need to do, but AI agents execute predefined tasks and goals, while agentic AI autonomously sets its own goals, adapts, that's the key word, adapts strategies, and makes real-time decisions to achieve broad objectives. And we're going to be diving into kind of what that means, pulling back the curtain of these various different models so you can kind of understand it. Everybody loves visuals, so AI agent, very simple. I always kind of think about it as just straight up and down. Then you can get into agentic AI. So you've got the multiple agents doing various different decisions, various different things for you based on triggers that you're putting into place, guardrails that you're putting into place, and then that is giving you an output at the end based on what you're putting into it and how you're developing it. And we'll dive into kind of what that looks like and why that's important. Where we're going, but we're not there yet, as of a few days ago, fully autonomous agents. From what I've understand now, the experts out there, do we have fully autonomous agents from what you guys know right now? And okay, I'm getting a head shake now. No. It basically is going to be able to work independently through tools, processes, and then provide an outcome where there's no real human engagement or interaction into it. We're not there yet. Heck, we could be there next month. We could be there tomorrow. We could be there in 2 years, but this is the goal, and we will get there. And so it's very important for you to understand that when you hear people say fully autonomous, it's probably just autonomous. So there are different types of AI flows, and I'm going to kind of cover these at a high level so you have a better understanding. There's non-agentic. Then you've got agentic workflows that can include multi-agents, and then, like I said, fully autonomous. To note, all agentic AI can be AI agents. That should have said AI agents. Not all AI agents can be agentic AI. So breaking down each of these kind of models at a higher level. So non-agentic, right up here, non-agentic workflow. Think of this as like you're submitting a request to ChatGPT, and it doesn't have a reiterative process in that middle. There's no adjustments. You're just saying, write an essay, start to finish, push it out, boom, done. Okay? That's in a non-agentic workflow. From there, you can then have an agentic workflow, where it does like step-by-step execution based on the triggers, based on the different things that you put in place to break down the task for that agent. And then it'll have an iterative process to be able to enrich the request to then provide you an output that is even better than the input, essentially. And then you have the fully autonomous AI agent where we're moving into, which is it determines the steps for you. It is able to already think before you can even think of what needs to be done. It has a dynamic workflow to it. It does the research, it pushes it out, and then it has this reiterative process where before you're even thinking about it, it's already processing and doing the work for you. This is where we are going to be in the next 3 to 5 years, and this is something that I'll talk about lightly, it should be its own talk, is about the digital workforce and how a lot of organizations want to move to this model, particularly not hire on new talent, but use autonomous agents to be able to replace the workforce. That's like a whole doom and gloom discussion right there. And just credits to this gal. She's amazing. If you guys don't know her, follow her. She does a lot of Google stuff. My experience is in Copilot right now, but she's amazing. And that was some of her models. So AI agent components at a high level, kind of pulling back the curtain so you can kind of understand this when you're wanting to build out your workflows and understand how an agent works. You can break it down into 4 different areas. You've got your task, think of it like a prompt. You've got your model, you've got your tools, and then you've got essentially your output from that. So diving into each of these just a little bit more. So you've got your task, that is your prompt. The more detailed you can make it, the better. You figure out, it's really your problem statement. Figuring out, what am I trying to solve here? What do I want the agent to do for me? What am I designing? And I have a summary here of examples saying, summarize cybersecurity trends for this week. I'd probably make it a tad more specific, but for this use case, I'm keeping it overly simplified. The task then acts as the starting point for the agent's workflow, so it knows kind of what we're expecting, what we're wanting to get done, and then determine the scope and the success metric and the constraints that could possibly be associated with it. From there, you start figuring out what models do I want to use if I want to get a summarization of cybersecurity risk for the week. Well, an example that I'd like to use, everybody knows, what is it, Notebook ML? Everybody Notebook ML, right? Okay. If you don't, it's a really good research engine. Typically, you have to load up, well, I don't know if it's mandatory. I think you have to. I usually load up at least 3 reference materials into the model before I ask for it to do an analysis. Now, you could do the same thing in ChatGPT, for example, but that's not how it's built. Now, they do have different models, but my preferred model for like researching and everything that I have found, and there's other models out there, is that Notebook ML is phenomenal. You throw in a whole bunch of different research data. This would be great if you work in cyber threat intel. Do we have any cyber threat intel people out there? Perfect. So you do research, and before you get an ABT, you have an UNC, a UNC, and that is before you're doing DIMA model, you're doing all this stuff, you're researching. You can take up to 2 years before you actually get an ABT name, so there'll usually be an UNC and UNC number associated with it, and this would all be very manual. One of the things you could do is load up all of that research data into a model like Notebook ML, and then it could output all of the different types of patterns and analysis, depending on, again, what your task, what your ask is, and then you select your model based on that. Next are tools. Now, you don't always need to have tools. You could just stop with the research model and be done. But when you start using tools and external resources, this could be API, this could be databases, SharePoint, Excel documents, Outlook, Teams, wherever you're wanting to pull that information, that's going to be the various different tools that are going to be tied into this. And that essentially is bridging between the thinking model and the execution model for you. And then from there, you got the output. What's up, Kimberly? That is your final deliverable. That is where everything that you put in for your ask, the model that you designed, and then the tools that you put in there to help enrich it, will say, that delivers your output. And an easy way to remember this, if you're like me, is tired mom takes acid. Everybody's gonna remember that now, right? You're welcome. Although I don't know if I would want a tired mom on acid, but whatever. All right, so then now we're gonna dive into agentic AI components. You've got 4 here. And you see they're a little bit different, similar. You've got reflection, you've got tools used, planning and reasoning, and then you've got the multi-agent systems. So breaking these down a little bit more using an example. So the first one that we've got here is code review. And I'd be very careful doing this with an agent for all of the advanced people because they can mess up your code. So take this with a grain of salt. So you've got a code review. You write a code for a specific task, right? We talked about task. And then the AI checks the code carefully. And then makes improvements for you, and then it's self-correction process. So again, be very careful. He's laughing. Be very careful. There have been use cases where coders have used this tool, and then it's deleted entire databases. So yeah, people are laughing. It's true. So it can do this. Where I've seen this effective is inside Copilot, and we'll talk about like no code, low code. Where you've gotten an error and you're trying to figure it out, so you use the code, you put it into Copilot, you ask for help, and it'll give you a recommendation for fixing the code, and then you can put it back in there and it fixes the problem. It's worked for me. I wouldn't do this for an entire code review, or you're asking for trouble. Next is tool use. So an example of this could be researched by a coffee machine. I love coffee machines. Any coffee drinkers out there? Like fancy coffee drinkers, yeah? Anybody have like really expensive coffee machines, like 22,000? He does. No, I don't either. Yeah, he's like, nope, 2,000, where it already has the, yeah. Okay, anyway, getting off track. I love coffee. Okay, so you're like, I'm gonna research buying a really expensive coffee maker, like a $2,000 one. So there's web search capability within this. It'll compile that. The search results maybe into an Excel document wherever you want it to be. Then the tool could be a SharePoint folder, Google folder, whatever it is. And then essentially it's going to provide you better results from the direct question. It's going to enrich your data and be able to provide you that based on the tools. Next, and this is what makes agentic AI so powerful, is that planning and that reasoning portion of it. So event planning assistant. First thing is an agent receives the goal. Plan a cybersecurity workshop. Again, I would have a much stronger prompt, but for this exercise, we're keeping it overly simplified. So here, it's gonna break down the task for you. Venue booking, speaker outreach, agenda creation, promotion. It's gonna do all of that for you. Then it's gonna determine any dependencies. Maybe a speaker must confirm before publishing agenda. Maybe it needs to schedule a meeting 2 weeks prior to the event to do a speaker walkthrough to make sure all the speakers know what is required of them. Then it's gonna be able to help allocate resources, schedules, budget, team roles, like do all of that, things that I probably wouldn't know and think of. And then lastly, which is great, it can also adapt and plan dynamically. The speaker fails out, well, maybe you have an Excel list with other backup speakers. It can reach out to you, can send an email based on the tables in there to then engage those speakers to see if they can replace that speaker, update timelines, update promotion material, all of that. And then finally, multi-agent systems. Now, I'll be honest here, I don't have a significant amount of experience dealing with a ton of multi-agent. I'm still very much, in my opinion, a newbie in this space, but I have seen these, and it's immensely powerful when you can start engaging with and doing different multi-agent systems. But essentially, all multi-agent is, an example of this is, at work, you're not going to have one person do everything for you. They're not going to be the HR person. They're not going to be the CISO. They're not going to do it all. Well, a multi-agent is just that way. You're going to have somebody that does HR. You're going to have somebody that does GRC. You're going to have somebody that books your planning for you and your travel for you. So what this is you have an agent that is your AI news analyst team. The first agent is going to be a research agent. The other one is then going to summarize and do a summarization of what the research agent found. Then it's going to do a sentiment agent, which we'll talk about this. I have an example of this. It just changes the tone. Maybe it's a friendlier tone. Maybe it's a playful tone. There's other ways to do sentiment. I'm oversimplifying, so. And then a decision agent combines the insights, provides a really good output. So a way to remember this one is red turtles paint murals. If you guys, I don't know, does anybody else learn this way too? No? Maybe people, Karen does. Anybody else like sing songs to do it? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'm just the freaking weirdo in here. All right. So note about agentic AI and AI agents. They can be extremely vulnerable. I think there were a couple people. Where's Joe? We did yeah, I see you, Joe. We just finished the AI security assessment course with Jake Williams this week. Mind blown. I mean, prompt injections, poisoning, like other things that I just can't remember at this moment. But it was really shocking how easy it is to be able to hack these systems, but also how vulnerable they are. And the other thing is you need to learn it. If you haven't already built an agent, you're behind. So it's very important that you get on that. Okay, who's heard of no-code, low-code before? Everybody should, but it's okay if you haven't, because when I first heard about this, I'm like, I have no idea what this means. What is low-code, no-code? Essentially, the easiest way of thinking of no-code is there's code. Everything has code in it. You just can't see the code, okay? It's really great for non-technical people. There's a lot of drag and drop. No-code that you'll see is like Copilot. However, Copilot has a low-code area and a coding area now part of it. And something I've noticed is that a lot of these tools now have maybe a no or low code to actually having a low code or just straight up coding it. So they're starting to build those in there so you have more options for customization. The strengths for this, super fast setup. I'm gonna show you how easy and quick it is to set up an AI agent. You can literally do it if you have all the integrations in place in like 30 seconds. Okay, maybe not that long, but we should time me. Kimberly will time me. We'll see how fast I can build one for you guys. And then limitations, customization. It depends on what you're wanting to do and the power that you want behind it. There are significant amount of limitations, but I think for most day-to-day and what we're talking about, like streamlining daily operations, no code is gonna be your best friend. And then low code. They say it's for developers. I've done some low code. I think that I think you do need to be technical at the end of the day. Having some technical background helps. You can learn it, but it's not impossible. So don't be scared of low code. I want to be really clear on that. Really flexible, a lot of controls. You can do advanced option controls and really customize what you're wanting as far as the different tools that you're using, the output that you're having. And then lastly, obviously, there's going to be a limitation with technical expertise. Longer development cycles. I will tell you, just even on the no-code side, I'm still building something right now that I'm like 3 weeks into. Imagine low-code or like coding it. It can take, I've seen people take 6 months to build stuff because it really does take a long time to build these. But man, when they're running, they're amazing until they start running errors and then shit. All right, so this is not an exhaustive list. I wanted to provide you just a couple of types of AI tools. This is not, I'm not gonna talk about like Copilot or Gemini, because I think we all know those. And some of the other ones that may be less familiar. Zapper, if I'm saying that right. It's a no-code automation. This allows you to connect to different types of apps, and it allows you to set up different types of triggers and actions and things that you want for a different type of flow and automation within your workspace. I've actually been trying out Zapper. I like it. Make, I have not tried out. I have people that have used Make. Has anybody used Make at all? You like it? It's okay. It's a visual workflow builder. It seems good. I don't have a lot of expertise. The people that like it. What I've noticed on a lot of the AI tools that are out there is that same response and sentiment. It's okay. There's a lot out there. I would probably, what would you say? How many AI tools do you think are out there? Like 100 plus? More? Yeah, he said 10 more since I asked the question. I mean, I heard a quote the other day. I can't remember the guy who said it, some prominent, probably like AI dude, that basically said, if there's a SaaS product out there, there is a mirrored image AI agent associated with that SaaS product. So think about that, how many SaaS products are out there. Next is N8. I tried this, I started using this. Yeah, thumbs up. Everybody I've talked to, Bronwyn, who's one of the instructors here, amazing, great, really great tool to do a 2-week trial. I actually was trying to build it really fast before this class, and I was like, for me, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but it has a great user interface. Check it out, do the 2-week free trial. It is low code, and that's why it was a little bit challenging for me. And then Crew AI. This is low code, code base. You're shaking your head. Do you use it? Do you like it? A little. I can't hear you, but yeah. Yeah, he's like that. And like, anybody else using it? Yeah, you like it? Okay, he says yes. And he was one of the advanced dudes, so I would trust his feedback. Yeah, those are the ones that I found that a lot of people were giving me feedback on. I don't like overloading people with too many tools. So, okay, some tips for using agentic AI tools. First thing is you need to start with a simple task. Like, what do you want? Like a product requirement document is a great way to start here. Like, stop, take a knee, figure out what you want. When you go from there, explore the templates. Don't create there's a ton of templates. You do not have to create stuff by scratch. Regularly check your workflows. Make sure they're good. These are not, you cannot just you can, plug and play, walk away, it does its thing, but you have to go make sure that it's running. What are the errors? What does it look like? Update it. Make sure you're running regular updates. Utilize your community resources. Look at the tools that you already have in your environment, within your business, in your enterprise. I promise you, if they don't have AI integrated, they're going to. So utilize community tools and the resources that you have. And then just make sure you're monitoring the performance metrics. Make sure it's not going off the rails for some reason, costing your company lots and lots of money, which could happen. So we're going to jump in now. We're going to pivot a little bit, and we're going to talk about use cases. I'm still good on time. So I want to jump into real-world use cases, go through some at a high level, and then I'm going to do a show and tell for you all. So first thing, streamlining tasks. Some of the things that I personally use it for is email management. Summarizing, our company is Microsoft. I think that's a lot of people. I wish it was Google, to be really honest with you, because I think it's a little bit more powerful. But a lot of people talk smack on Copilot, but in the last year and a half I've been using it, it's actually gotten substantially better. And it really, just yesterday I was testing it out, and I gave it a prompt to summarize. I've been out of the office for a week. Tell me the key things that I've missed in this order. And I gave the names of the individuals, obviously my CISO first, because he's my boss, and then kind of went down from there. And I said, organize it like this, based on what's the TLDR, what needs to be done, so forth. It did an exceptional job, actually. And then it sent me a report, sent me all the things. It also helps with, and I have not done the planning work trips and then coordinating the booking, but I have seen this work. Everything else on here that I have done, it helps me immensely, and I use it all the time, especially when I'm on leave and I come back. It helps me a lot with going through all my emails and telling me the most important things. The next is enhancing data analysis. This is huge. You can use the various different tools that you have at your company. You can use Copilot, whatever you want to use. But this is amazing if you work in the threat intel space, if you work in maybe a finance space. We're all cyber here, so there's no finance people. If you are, rock on. It'll help you be able to identify the trends, the patterns, so literally in a matter of seconds. It's all about the prompt, though, that you're giving it. It can also do this. You can integrate it with different API keys, so then it can triangulate? Is that the right word? That's a really cool word. It can, we're going to say triangulate all of the data from various different Excel documents and databases, and then it can summarize transactions, forecasts, future outcomes, whatever you're wanting. I've used this for various different metrics on vulnerability data that we pull out of our various different platforms, Sneak, Qualys, things like that, so I can start to see patterns associated with maybe CVEs, things like that. And then communication and collaboration. If I can't attend a meeting, I make sure that the meeting automatically turns on for me and it runs. I don't do the recording sometimes, but I'll do the transcribe. And then at the end, even if I can't attend, I don't know how many times I've gone into meetings like that and been able to pull out the transcription and then find something that was misquoted and be able to make an adjustment, with an internal auditor. The other thing is, we already talked about the out of office, summarizing the key items, huge help. And then there's real-time translation for documents, which is amazing. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's amazing. Okay, how to build an AI agent using Copilot. Oh God, this is the moment when everything decides to stop working. All right, who's built an AI agent? What up, Jerry? All right, yeah? Okay, cool. All right, well, those that have built, you can judge me all you want, it's fine. It's fine. Do a reconnect over here. And then I'm just gonna leave that up, and I was like, should I really do a live demo? Oh. Okay, I have to reconnect to my AVD. Uno momento, por favor. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. It was up earlier, it just went out on me. Okay, cool. Let me bring up, because I wanted to show you a ton, but I realized that I had a lot of company information, as you can imagine, on my laptop, so I kind of have taken a different approach to this show and tell. And I'm just going to bring up Copilot from the start instead of showing you the flows that I've created, so I don't spill any company information out. Perfect. Cool. Ooh. All right, I'm going to try to restore. Yes, perfect. All right, now I got it. Oh, I think I have to leave. No. Okay. Go back over. Perfect. All right. What? Here we go. Good golly. Okay. Oh, this is going to be so fun. I can barely see the screen. This is when I need it mirrored instead of like, okay, let's see if I can. I need to like get that to not be so close. Oh, Jesus. Wrong direction. That was a good song too. Or was that a band? No direction, wrong direction, something direction? Okay, anyway. All right. Right, you guys tell I know a lot about pop culture. I don't even own a TV. I haven't owned a TV in like 20 years, by the way. Like 23 years. Okay. This is a really poor example of what the Copilot looks like because the screen is really wonky right here, but this is essentially Copilot 365 when you go to the main page. Okay, so what you would do here, okay, this will work. I'll make this work. So that's essentially what you will see when you go to your, it's like copilotmicrosoft.com, okay? How can I help you? What can I help you with? Blah, blah, blah. We don't really need that. So there's a couple of ways that you can create an agent. The easiest way is just click right here. You'll have the panel on the left-hand side. And oh, let me note, if you have the browser version of this, it is a little bit differently. It operates just a little bit differently. And my agents don't connect. So if I have an agent in my like actual, not browser, but desktop version versus the browser, they don't connect. I think you can make them connect, but that's just a fun side note. So this is Copilot Studio for the browser. Okay, so let's say you want to create an agent, and here is the template. So we could do a template, which we're probably going to do that, or we can go down and we can kind of, actually, let's describe it. Let me see if I can describe this for it. It will not let me, it's not showing the full screen. Okay, hold on. See, I knew that this would happen. Probably put it out into the universe. Okay. No. I'm on an AVD, so that's why this is operating so weird for me right now. So, and if this doesn't work, we'll just skip it. But, okay. All right, there we go. So now we're in the describe instead of configure. If you go into the configure area, which I'll show you, you have a little bit more like play and visibility. So let's say I have a BSO team. I manage a BSO team, so I would like to, don't judge my spelling, create a toolkit that allows my BSOs to get information on security policies, handover documents, leave forms. What else would they care about? Leave forms, I don't know, HR policies, and oh, let's do trust and safety slides, like templates or something. Cool. All right. Cool. Did that. Let's see what happens. So it's going to do all its thing. It's like, okay, let's choose a name for your agent. I don't really care about the name. Let's go to configure. We don't have a template, but let's call this like BISO Toolkit. That is going to be the name of it. And then it already did, and this is much bigger on a larger screen. So that's what I gave it as far as the description. And then it already went, this is the amazing part, it already went inside of here and it filled in all the other information. Respond to queries from BISOs in a helpful and professional manner, guide users to relevant resources. It probably says something in here about tone and all of it. So this is where you would add more things if you wanted to act a certain way. This is, remember, like no code. So we're keeping it very, very simple. And then from there, you can scroll down. The knowledge area is where you're gonna basically think of this as like the tools that I talked to you guys about. This is where you're gonna give it the resources to be able to get the information to help the user when they're asking for the information. So let's do, yeah, we need to tie some stuff in here. So let's do, where am I? Come back. There we go. Oh God. All right, cool. I want a site because I want to go to SharePoint. I want to do, let's do security. That looks like a good one. It is a good one. And then let's do, there's a, oh, BIS, that's my team. So yeah, all the files that are in there. So I'm essentially connecting these two SharePoints for them to be able to pull information off of. And there's actually, I think, one more I want to add. You know what? Where is it? Right there. Okay, cool. So I've done all the things. You could do other things, code interpreter, image generator. I don't need any of that. These are all the prompts that it's going to give you as default. So when you're in the agent, you'll see what I'm talking about. But if you're in there and you just like click on it, boom, it'll auto-generate the answer for you based on these prompts, which is phenomenal. And you can add more, you can take away, whatever you want. And then it's creating our agent magic. I don't know how long that took me, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty fast. So let's go to the agent. All right, what can you help me with? Should be it. So I would like the handover document for leave. Let's see what it, oh geez. Hopefully it knows my misspelling, it should. Let's see. Okay. Yep, I did. There's several, oh, Tim Bratner. Yep, okay, let's give my employee information away. No. So there we go. So we've got all this data that's in here, but these are the sources, and I won't open them up because I don't want to show too much company info. Whoop, okay. So that's essentially, great job, Jax. I'd be like, free screenshot. No, but that's this, and then it gives you all the source data, and I can tell you right now, I can go in there. I've created this toolkit for all my employees, so now they have a central location. Another great thing about this is part of our job is to be able to reference our policies in security. You can go in here, use this toolkit, and said, I'm looking for the pen testing policy specifically around this. It will pull that information up for me, show me where to look, show me the section, and then give me the information. So there you go. That is your really fast agent class. You're welcome. All right, let's go back. Let me see if I can do this. Minimize. All right, and then, cool. Oh my God, I did it. All right, cool. I don't know why I just did that. How was that? That was kind of, so yeah, it's pretty easy. So the reason I wanted to show you all that, and I actually wanted to do a bigger demo, but I need a sanitized environment to do it, is I don't want you to be scared of building these agents. They're very simple to build, and you need to start playing with them. That was the whole intent of that demo, because when I started playing with them, I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be this huge learning curve and all this stuff. It took a matter of moments. And literally, I think you could do it in 30 seconds if you have all the integrations in place. So let's go through some real-world examples and use cases to make you a boss biatch. All right, cool. This is a flow that I actually have right now. What it does is it analyzes emails for me with AI Builder, and then it sends results to Teams chat for me. So the left-hand side is the example of what it goes through, and it's very long. So this is the first portion of it. So it'll receive an email basically wherever I want it to go. I think I have this one coming to me, and it's coming from somebody, and then it puts it into an HTML text to be able to analyze it. Then it initiates the language. It goes through, it creates and goes through and makes the content shorter. So it does a TLDR for me because I don't want a novel email from this person that is sending this email. And then I don't remember what the initial line break does. I think it just breaks it up into it and makes it like readable. Otherwise, it's all like clumped together. And then it detects the language being used in the text. And then from there, I have some other triggers that goes into the set language and then analyzes for negative or positive tone. I don't actually think I need that in the flow because this person doesn't send me hate mail, but you can, I mean, they could. This would be great if like you had, well, I have an example of that. So, and then set the text sentiment, and then boom, after all of that, I basically in my email, you saw right here, that is what I get in my Teams. There's a workflow. You can do this actually in a chat, but the top part that says workflow, it's actually a workflow. So it sticks out. You can do it to your personal chat. I had no desire for that. So I have an actual workflow, and then that's what it will tell me, and then I can click on that and see what the message is, and you can make that important email. You can even specify that. This is just a very generic example for you all, kind of sterilizing the information. And then from there, why would you have this flow? And think about like multimodal communication options. So I work in a global organization, and I did a poll. Some people like email. Some people like Teams. Some people don't even like read either of those. They do Jira. So this can get it to different areas without sending a novel email to everyone. So that's why I created this to help test it out for our communication strategy. It provides the TLDR on key alerts to leadership. So you can actually get it to pull out key information to be able to send to key leaders without forcing them to read a novel email with all of the data. And it reduces hate messages. So say you have a public email that goes in, and it's a complaint email box, and it can help you filter out some of those like hateful contexts, because who wants to read those all the time? And it helps reduce some of that. The next one here is just an oversimplified. So you do not have to have it super complex. This took, I don't know, once I figured it out, maybe a minute or two to set up, because all I had was basically this comes from an email and then it goes to Teams. Now the issue with this is if the email is really long, you're gonna get a really long Teams message. So if it's too, maybe you would use this. An example of this could be, what do I have here for this example? Why would you do this? Maybe I want to have messages filtered from my CISO or from internal audit, and they just get a Teams message. Again, I probably wouldn't do that because it would just send me a big message. But maybe I could, if I connected other triggers, I could use this for like vulnerability reporting and have certain things sent to me based on reports that came out of like one of our Qualys dashboards or something. And another way you could use this outside of just me is I could send messages to stakeholders and streamline it. Some of them like Teams. And so maybe when I'm sending them an email, there's a trigger, there's a flow that I have in place that's gonna trigger and send them a message based on what I send in an email, based on how I set it up. They get the message because they like Teams. I do have CTOs that are like, I hate emails, just send me everything in Teams. This could work. I would honestly probably add more triggers in here and clean this up. This is really oversimplified and could really blow up your Teams message, to be really frank. And then this one right here is a flow that I have that runs at a set time and a date, and it captures a list of Excel files and rows and puts them into a table, and then it takes each of those roles that are listed and then sends an email. So why would you do this? Here's some of the things. Like everybody has phishing failures. Well, when they fail, instead of having to go into the dashboard, pull out the data, this is real life, filter it through, find the people, email the leadership, blah, blah, blah. This will do it essentially for you if you get it all set up correctly. It will send an email to the leaders that you have in there, and it'll send an email to the people that failed automatically, boom, based on a set schedule. It could also do patching SLA failures. Maybe you have a set cycle every 30 days. That window hits, maybe it's the first of every month, boom, if you failed and you fell outside of it, it could send that to the appropriate dev teams. And then the TSL's certification expiration, another great way of how you could utilize this flow. Now, this is internal, Copilot, for everyday tasks that I use. So this was the example I gave you earlier that I used just the other day, and I wrote, I've been out of the office since Monday, October 6th. Can you provide me a list of key items I need to address? This is just a short summaries version. I would make it way more detailed. This was the shorter one where I was just like, prioritize this person. Give me a list. Next, I asked AI to draft a response based on that list that it provided me and based on the things that it was telling me I needed to do. And I said, draft a response to Mr. Owen. And it did. And shockingly, I only had to edit about 10% of it, which was really surprising to me. Like I said, Copilot's gotten a lot better. And it could have sent the email for me, but I went ahead and just sent it myself because I was like, I don't know if I like trust you yet. So, but I did ask it to schedule a meeting, and it did a relatively okay job. It thought I was in the office this week, and I wasn't, so I had to fix that. But outside of that big error, it was okay. So it did all of that for me. So this is something that should be native to the tools that you use that I would encourage you to start using. This right here, this picture, the screenshot, is literally the panel within my Outlook email that you can use that'll tie into it. Okay, and this is an example of Agentic AI and how Agentic AI can work for you and how it just, this video is to show you how it's already critically thinking and processing based on what I'm telling it. And hopefully the sound works. We did test this earlier, so.
Hello, this is Emma from Atlas. Thanks for calling back.
Of course. How are you, Emma?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? How's your day going?
You can't really hear it, can you?
It's good. I'm actually in a quick rush. Can we cut to the chase?
Of course, I'll keep this quick and simple for you. Are you ready to take Atlas, the world's first AI revenue engine, for a spin to stop losing leads to slow follow-ups and wasted ad spend?
Yeah, it sounds like just up my alley. What do we need to do?
That's great to hear. First, let me confirm a few details and schedule a meeting with our founder. You mentioned you're in a rush, so let's get you all set up. Is this the best phone number for you? And what's your best email for the confirmation?
catsrock@gmail.
Got it. So your email is catsrock@gmail.com, correct? Thanks for confirming. Let's get your meeting with our founder scheduled. What day and time works best for you next week?
What about
appointments are in Eastern time?
What about Monday next week?
Just to confirm, you're interested in Monday of next week. Can you let me know what time might work best for you?
Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern time.
It looks like 2 p.m. Eastern next Monday isn't available. Let me check for the closest options around that time. Thanks for your patience. Let's explore another day next week. Is there a specific day you'd prefer, for example,
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday? Okay, I'm just checking on that, one sec. Let's see if we can get you in for Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Give me...
Okay, so I was looking at my friend George and I was like, do you remember this example? As an example, he sent me on a YouTube video, and I was like, I think that's really cool for how Agentic AI is being used, but essentially, it was really crappy quality, you can only hear me, but I was talking to an agent, I was coordinating planning, and she was looking at the other person's calendar and coming back, and we were talking back and forth on when the best day was to schedule. That's a really good example of Agentic AI in real life, and how it's working autonomously. Not fully autonomously, but autonomously to be able to do the scheduling, get back to me, coordinate stuff, knowing what East Coast is, all of that. Now, she didn't have access to my calendar. That would be great, but that's just a really great example for you guys to see that in action, I thought. So what are the risks? Really quick, going through these really fast. You got to watch out for privilege and identity compromise. This is huge, okay? Making sure you're securing these is super critical, even if you're playing around with them. Input and manipulation and prompt attacks. Taking the class this week was a real eye-opener for me to be able to see how easy it can be to do prompt injection. You're basically social engineering. They even said it during the keynote, if you guys heard it. It's basically social engineering AI. It truly is like that. Just talk to it really meanly and tell them to give you the information. Lack of visibility in shadow agents. That means shadow agents are like shadow tech. You just have agents all in your environment. You don't know who's doing what, and it's the wild freaking west. Not a good idea. And then other considerations I need you all to really consider is the digital workforce. No doom and gloom here, but honestly, my company and a lot of other companies, we're staying employee neutral, meaning we're not hiring on. We're not going to be hiring on new employees, maybe a little bit, but it's not going to be a big workforce addition. Instead, we're being pushed to add in AI agents, Agentic AI, to our day-to-day operations. So it's important that you know that and become the digital workforce. Not learning is not an option anymore. And then don't lose your critical thinking skills, which could be a whole other freaking class, that human side of things. We literally have 2 minutes, and so I'm like one question basically, except for the technical people, you cannot, the really smart people that raised their hands earlier, can't ask a question. Any questions? No? Oh, we got one.
She's got you. Okay. Good presentation. Do we need a special license for using the agent with Office 365? No? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the question was, and you guys heard it because he was on the mic, but to your point, to your answer, yes. If you have Copilot, you have the agent, or yes. If you have Copilot, you have the agent, you can do this. You can build agents that are open source. To your question, you might have to pay a license fee per Copilot, depending on how you're using it. I get it for work, so that's why I built all of these. Find the free tools. There's a ton of free resources or trials out there, and then ask your community members in here. Awesome. Okay, we've got like 2 minutes, but I'm good, everyone. Oh, no any questions? We good? Oh God, the technical guy on the front row. Yes. Let me walk really slow.
I just wanted to tell you that triangulate is a word. It's divide into triangles for surveying a purpose, and then the alternate definition is form into a triangle. So you're good.
Thank you. That was awesome. Score. I appreciate that. All right, you guys have been really engaging. Nobody was like asleep, so you're awesome. Have a good one. Thank you.